Level 1, Youngling. You're 3 years old when they take you from your family. You don't remember the goodbye. You don't remember the ship ride to Coruscant. Your earliest memory is the Jedi Temple. Stone floors so polished you can see your own reflection. Pillars taller than anything you thought could exist. And the hum. A low, constant vibration in the walls, in the air, in your chest. You don't know what the Force is yet. Just know the building feels alive. There are dozens of kids like you in the crash. Different species, different planets, all taken young enough that the temple is the only home you'll ever know. A Jedi caretaker teaches you to sit still, to breathe, to reach out with your feelings. Most days, you'd rather run around the training courtyard, but they keep pulling you back to the meditation mat. Patience. That word follows you everywhere. Your first lesson with a training lightsaber is the day everything changes. A small remote floats in the air, firing tiny stun bolts. You get hit in the arm, the leg, the forehead. The other younglings laugh. You grip the hilt tighter. The caretaker shakes their head. Let go. Trust the Force. You close your eyes. The next bolt comes, and your hand moves on its own. Something clicks, not in your head, deeper than that, in your bones. For half a second, you feel everything. Every person in the room, every heartbeat. The rain falling on the temple roof 6 floors above you. Then it's gone. But you felt it, and you'll spend the rest of your life chasing that feeling. One night in the dormitory, a kid from your clan whispers across the dark, "Do you remember your parents?" You don't. Neither does he. Neither of you sleeps for a long time after that. The caretaker told you attachment is the path to suffering. You're 5 years old and you already know what that means. Don't love anything so much that losing it breaks you. That's a big lesson for someone who still can't reach the top shelf in the archives. Level 2, Padawan. You're 13 when a Jedi Knight walks into the training hall and watches your class spar. Knights and Masters come through looking for an apprentice the way someone picks fruit at a market. They watch, they leave. Most never come back for you. This one does. A week later, you're standing in front of the council. They assign you a master. You get a braid behind your ear. That thin strand of hair means you belong to someone now. Not to the creche. Not to the temple, to a living, breathing teacher who is responsible for turning you into a Jedi. Your master doesn't talk much. The first mission is a diplomatic escort to Mandalore. You expect action. Instead, you stand behind your master for 6 hours while politicians argue about trade routes. Your feet hurt. Your master senses your boredom. A Jedi serves, even when service is standing still. You nod. You hate it. Then things get real. A separatist cell ambushes your transport on Rhodia. Blaster fire rips through the hull. Your master ignites their saber and becomes something you've only seen in training hollows. Bolts deflected, attackers disarmed. The whole fight over in 30 seconds. You didn't even get your lightsaber out of its clip. Over the next few years, the missions get harder. And so do you. You learn to sense danger before it arrives. You learn to negotiate with people who want you dead. You learn to fight with precision instead of panic. Your master starts trusting you to take point. The first time they say, "Handle it," and step back. You realize you're not a student pretending to be a Jedi anymore. You're becoming one. But there's a feeling the code says you shouldn't have. Attachment. Your master isn't just your teacher. They are the closest thing to a parent you've ever known. You'd die for them. The code says to let go. Nobody tells you how. They just tell you to do it, like it's as easy as opening your hand. You're starting to think it never gets easier. You just get better at pretending. Level 3, Jedi Knight. The trials. Every Padawan dreads them. The trial of skill, the trial of courage, the trial of spirit. That last one is the worst. They put you in a chamber, and the Force shows you your deepest fear. Not a monster, not a battlefield. yourself. A version of you that gave in to anger, to hatred, to the dark side. You have to face it. You have to reject it. Some Padawans fail and never recover. You walk out shaking, but you walk out. They cut the braid. Your master watches. You catch something on their face you've never seen before. Pride, maybe sadness. A hand on your shoulder. You're ready. That's it. You don't realize until years later how much that moment meant to both of you. Now you're alone. The council sends you on solo missions. A border dispute on Dantooine. A missing person case in the lower levels of Coruscant. A dark side artifact surfacing in Yavin. Each one tests you differently. Some test your lightsaber. Most test your judgment. You take your first life on Nar Shaddaa. A bounty hunter pulls a blaster on a civilian. You cut him down before the bolt leaves the barrel. Clean, efficient, exactly how you were trained. Afterward, you sit in your ship and stare at your hands. The code says there is no emotion, only peace. The words sound right. They just don't feel right. Not tonight. You start to notice things the Order doesn't like to talk about. Senators who use Jedi as political pawns. Council decisions that feel more like bureaucracy than wisdom. A fellow knight confides in you after a mission. Do you ever feel like we're serving the Republic more than we're serving the Force? You don't answer. Not because you disagree. Because you're afraid you agree too much. Level 4. Jedi General. The Clone Wars change everything. One day you're a peacekeeper. The next, you're standing on the bridge of a Venator-class Star Destroyer with a battalion of clone troopers saluting you. Men bred for war, following a monk into battle. The Republic decided Jedi should lead armies. Nobody asked if Jedi were built for that. Your first command is a disaster. You lose 200 clones taking a separatist outpost that intelligence said was lightly defended. It wasn't. Each number on the casualty report is a man. Each man had a name his brothers gave him. You approved the assault plan. That blood is on your robes. The clones don't blame you. That almost makes it worse. Your clone commander pulls you aside. You're thinking too hard about it, sir. We know the risks. Just get us home when you can. You make a promise to yourself. Every plan from now on accounts for getting them home. Months turn into years. You become something Jedi were never meant to be. A warrior. You know the effect range of a DC-15A better than you know the Jedi code. You eat with your clones. You learn their names. You notice the way they look at each other. The way brothers look at each other. That bond you were taught to avoid your whole life, they have it. And it makes them stronger. That fact sits with you. A Padawan assigned to you dies on Megiddo. 19 years old. You sent them into a forward position because you needed someone Force-sensitive to spot the enemy through a blizzard. You felt them die through the Force. Not just their death, their fear, their last thought, which was your name. The Council calls it a necessary sacrifice. You call it what it is. A kid you got killed. You stopped taking Padawans after that. Level 5. Jedi Master. You've survived long enough to earn the title. Master. It doesn't feel like a promotion. It feels like a scar that healed over. You've walked through fire and came out the other side still believing in the light. It's rarer than you think. They assign you a Padawan, your first since Megiddo. 14-year-old Togruta, with more raw power than you had at twice her age. She reminds you of yourself. Reckless, impatient. You hear your old master's voice come out of your mouth. Patience. The word you hated as a youngling is now the word you say most. Teaching forces you to say out loud what you actually believe, and some of it doesn't survive the saying. Your Padawan asks you questions you don't have clean answers to. If attachment leads to the dark side, why do we care about the people we protect? You tell her the textbook answer. She looks at you like she can tell you don't fully buy it. You visit your old master. They're older than you remember, slower. You sit together in a garden in the temple, and for a while, neither of you says anything. Then they say, "I was afraid I'd lose you. Every mission. I wasn't supposed to feel that, but I did." Two Jedi admitting the code doesn't account for the thing that makes them who they are. Both pretend the conversation didn't happen, but it did. Level 6. Jedi Council Member. 12 chairs in a circular chamber at the top of the temple. Coruscant spreads out below the windows in every direction. You sit in one of those chairs now. The decisions that shaped your entire life were made in this room. Now you're making them for others. You help decide which younglings are trained and which are sent away. You approve missions that might end a knight's life. 12 Jedi Masters who survived everything the galaxy threw at them don't agree easily. Consensus is rare. Compromise is constant. A young knight stands before the council, talented and angry, pushing for a seat he hasn't earned. Something about him unsettles you. Not what he says, what he doesn't. The force around him is clouded in a way you can't explain. You raise your concerns. The council notes them and moves on. You feel the dark side now the way you feel weather. A tide that rises slowly. It corrupts institutions before it corrupts individuals. You feel it in the Senate, in the military, sometimes in the temple itself. Something is deeply wrong and you can't locate it. Like hearing a sound in a wall but never finding the crack. Your Padawan earns her knighthood. You cut the braid yourself. You see your old master's face in your memory, the pride, the sadness. Now you understand it. You trained her to stand on her own, which means she doesn't need you anymore. Let go. The Jedi way. It still costs something every time. Level 7. Grand Master. The highest seat in the order. Thousands of knights, hundreds of masters, and they all look to you. Not for orders, for direction. You've trained Padawans who became masters who trained Padawans of their own. The temple halls that once felt impossibly large now feel familiar in a way that aches. You remember the meditation mat where you first felt the Force back when the whole galaxy fit inside a single breath. Then one day, something shifts. A tremor in the Force, so sudden it stops you mid-step. Connections you've felt for decades start going dark. Not fading. Cut. Masters you trained. Knights you counseled. Padawans whose names you spoke at their ceremonies. Gone. The men you trusted turn. The brothers who called you general, whose names you learned because you believed it mattered. Their eyes go empty, and their blasters come up. You survive it. You don't understand it. The order falls. Not over years, over hours. 1,000 generations of Jedi, and it takes a single afternoon. Everything the word Jedi meant to you since you were 3 years old, and the temple walls hummed around you. Gone. The galaxy moves on like you were never there. You disappear. For a long time, the silence is all there is. The code said, there is no death. There is the Force. You spent your whole life believing that. Now you're not sure belief is enough when you felt every single one of them go. But the Force doesn't stop. It keeps showing you things. A farmer teaching his kid to be kind. A woman standing up to a thug twice her size. Small moments. Nothing that would make the HoloNet. But the light is in them. Ordinary people who never held a lightsaber, carrying the same thing you've carried your whole life, without knowing what to call it. Then you feel it. A child, no more than 4, reaching out with the Force for the first time. Clumsy. Bright. Unmistakable. The kid is sitting in the dirt outside a homestead, making a stone float between their hands without understanding why. You could walk away. There's no council to report to. No temple to bring them to. Just you. But the Jedi were never the temple. They were never the chairs or the robes. The Jedi were the choice. The choice to stand between the dark and someone who can't fight it alone. You sit down in the dirt next to the kid. The sun is warm. No briefing rooms. No battle plans. Just a child who felt something they can't name. And you, the last person in the galaxy who can explain it. Close your eyes, you say. Trust the Force. The same words someone said to you a lifetime ago on a meditation mat in a building that hummed like it was alive. The order isn't gone. It starts again, the way it always has. One teacher, one student, one choice to keep the light going. If you like this video, consider becoming a channel member. Your support directly helps us create more videos like this. Watch this video next.